Victor's dad has to be one of the most obviously evil characters I've ever seen in my life because basically everything he's ever said is clearly a lie.
She was the one who had been chosen to free the children. I guess you've been chosen now too. How did you get out?
Literally less than an episode after his introduction, the writers had already given us an insane amount of evidence that Victor's dad is not only a liar, but that he is more than likely the same being who created the town itself. Because in this scene, Victor's dad claims that Victor's mom knew practically everything about Fromland years before she even went into the town. This is clearly a lie, as we are given an insane amount of evidence proving the exact opposite, that Victor's mom did not know anything about the town before she went in.
The boy in white was trying to tell Christopher that to save the children, he would have to go through the tree. Christopher would go, so I told my mother what the boy in white said.
This right here is how we know Victor's dad has not only been a liar from the very beginning, but that he is also evil. Because in this scene, we get conclusive evidence that A, Victor's mom did not know that there were children that needed to be saved in the first place, and B, we get undeniable proof that she didn't even know about the bottle tree, and I honestly don't think that she even knew about the faraway teleportation trees at all. Because think about this for a second. Victor's dad wants you to believe that Victor's mom knew about both of these things years in advance before she even came into the town, and yet she needed Victor to tell her about them before she did anything about it. It is completely ridiculous in every way, and this is how I know for sure that Victor's dad is clearly just the entity himself. And to prove exactly what I'm saying, I want you to pay very close attention to what he says about Victor's mom in this scene, because there is no room for any misinterpretation by me or anyone else.
She was the one who had been chosen, but others were chosen before her. She could see each and every one.
Victor's dad specifically says that Victor's mom had all of the memories of each of the women that were chosen to save the children that came before her. This means Victor's dad wants you to believe that Victor's mom had the memories of every single chosen one from the early 1900s all the way back to the original townsperson that was there during the creation of the town in the 1500s. You'd have to be completely insane to think that this makes sense in any way, because remember, Victor's mom didn't even know about the bottle tree, or that there was children that needed to be saved in the first place. And even if you want to make the ridiculous claim that she did know about the bottle tree, but she couldn't find it because the trees have been moving, my God, that doesn't even make any sense. Like, Victor was able to find the bottle tree in literally less than a minute, even though he hadn't been there in 4 decades. And remember, this is the same Victor who can't even remember half of what he's experienced in his own life. But yet, Victor's dad wants you to believe that Victor's mom, someone who he claims had the memories and knowledge of 12 generations of Fromsville townspeople, including those of the version of herself that was there during the creation of the town. I don't know what to tell you, man. Victor's dad is clearly a liar. He's obviously evil. The story he's trying to sell you is so nonsensical that it completely falls apart when you use even the slightest bit of logic. At this point, I haven't even seen any proof of Tabitha being Victor's mom's reincarnation. If anything, I'd say Tabitha is more likely to be Christopher's reincarnation. And oh man, wow, you gotta see this.
The boy in white was trying to tell Christopher that to save the children, he would have to go through the tree.
Everything lies here.
I am not convinced that there is any reincarnation at all in this entire story, but let's just say Victor's dad wasn't lying about that. specifically. I think there's far more tying Tabitha to Christopher than there is tying Tabitha to Victor's mom. And one of the biggest signs of this is, apart from the painting that Victor's mom obviously did not make, there is no proof that the boy in white has ever appeared to Victor's mom. But do you know who he did appear to? Christopher. Just like he appeared to Tabitha, and he coincidentally gives both of them the same exact job. Go to the tower and free the children. It was Victor specifically who told his mother to do this job, not the boy in white. And this brings me to the person who actually parallels Victor's mom, and that is Jade.
Look at this. These are Civil War soldiers.
The pictures came from the stories.
Why the fuck am I having visions of a story some dead woman told 40 years ago?
Jade and Victor's mom have far more in common than Tabitha. Like right off the bat, Jade sees the Civil War soldiers, just like Victor's mom. And we know that she also saw them because she told Victor and his sister about the stories of the Civil War soldiers, which is how Victor's sister was able to draw them in the first place. There's also the fact that Jade, just like Victor's mom, also plays the violin. What a coincidence. And Jade, just like Victor's mom, has never seen the boy in white. I remind you, there is no proof whatsoever that the boy in white has ever appeared to Victor's mom apart from the aforementioned painting that she obviously did not make, which we know for a fact because some of the paintings are of the new modern town at nighttime, and the monsters were already existing at this point. The reason why this is important is because it clearly hints at the fact that whoever's been making these paintings is clearly not human. Hence, they can observe the town during nighttime. And I also want you to note, this is the diner, which means this is taking place in modern time. It's not the old village out by the lake. Nope, it's the modern town.
Eloise said that's where my mother went that night. She went to save the children locked in the tower.
You said Eloise.
She was so small. All I found were pieces. There wasn't much left.
This thing pretending to be Victor's dad is just one of the many tricks that the entity uses to mislead the people of this town. But even this is only possible because he uses Victor to disseminate disinformation into the population of the town.
My mother said this one was special, that it would take her to the tower, to the children. The boy in white was trying to tell Christopher that to save the children, he would have to go through the tree. Christopher would go, so I told my mother what the boy in white said.
Like, think about this. Victor's mom didn't know about the bottle tree, and she sure as hell did not know about the lighthouse or the tower or whatever the fuck you want to call it. So who exactly was it that told Victor that the bottle tree was special in the first place? Well, if you've been paying attention, you already know that the boy in white, as well as the kimono demon, are clearly telepathic, which makes sense because they've always been the same exact being. Basically, what I'm saying right now is Victor's memory has been manipulated by him, the entity. He inserts fake memories into Victor's brain to use him as a puppet to lead the people of the town away from the real solutions, to prevent them from escaping or finding a way to kill the monsters, and of course, to prevent them from finding a way to kill him, the entity. And this is something that was confirmed when Tabitha reached the lighthouse, and as expected, there were no children locked in the tower. It was always a false memory implanted into Victor's brain. In fact, the cave drawings clearly depict the lighthouse being owned by the entity, which means it is a tool for evil. Nothing more, nothing less. It is not the key to salvation.
If those kids made the tree, then those messages in the bottles, they have to matter.
And this place is trying to hurt us, to manipulate us.
No, Miranda knew those bottles were important.
We don't even know who put them there.
There's something there.
Of
There
course,
has to be something
there has
there.
to be.
There's also nothing special about the bottle tree. The entire point of the writers showing us Dale being sent into the wall of the pool was the writers telling us that, hey, the entity has power over this tree just like all of the others. It's psychological manipulation 101. He only placed the bottles onto the tree to make you believe that it's special, but it actually isn't any different from any of the others. Basically, it's a placebo effect. He was always in control of where the tree is going to send you.
I did try to warn you. The knowledge comes with a cost.
In this scene, when Jim gets taken out by the man in yellow, a lot of people got swept up in the hype of his reveal that they completely missed the far more important revelation that happens in this same exact scene. And that is, there were two versions of Julie in Fromland when this scene was happening. And this is insane because the implications are massive. Like, think about this. Theoretically, if the entity is also a story walker, which is very likely because he was laughing at Boyd while specifically saying that he won't get to Fatima in time to stop Smiley from being reborn, this means that the entity in control of the monsters can be in two places at the same chronological point in time in the story. And this completely changes everything. Because when you think about people like Victor's dad, Tilly, Martin, and of course, Victor himself, heck, even people like Donna and of course Clara now start to become way more interesting in terms of where their characters may or may not go. But Victor in particular, he has never been attacked by any of the monsters, and he's outlived the oldest resident of the town, which is Donna, by a multiplier of 10. That is completely insane. And it makes him the #1 suspect of being the mole, and maybe even the entity himself, I don't know. But it's also for this same reason that makes it very, very plausible for this being pretending to be Victor's dad to actually be the big man himself, the creator of the town, the monsters, the being that they call it. Like the jellyfish himself might have already made his appearance in the form of Victor's dad, because Lord knows there's not a single thing these guys trying to sell you that makes any sense whatsoever. But make sure you watch this video about Victor next, because yeah, there's definitely a lot going on with that guy.